is episode 52, officially our 1-year anniversary here on Invisible Walls. And unlike our 50th episode, we actually have something special this time. A very, very moving montage of the best moments from Invisible Walls from the last year. I'm sure you're really excited about that. Ryan, why the sour face?
Because I'm thinking I'm going to have to pull all this stuff.
Well, we've been talking about it for a couple weeks now.
Yeah. I have my two favorite parts.
You had assumed I was just going to forget about the montage?
No, I thought we were just going to talk about some of our favorite parts and roll some clips.
Well, then you're going to have the clips anyway, right?
Yeah.
Turn that frown upside down.
Rolling clips and montage are conflict in my head as different things.
Well, this is our 1-year anniversary. We want to first thank everybody who has been watching and listening to the show all this time. Will we call it a success at this point, or?
I think we can call it a
It's a
success.
show.
We're still going after 12 months, even though we're about 3 weeks after our official launch date last year.
Yeah.
Maybe even 4 weeks, because we skipped out a couple of weeks for E3 and Tokyo Game Show and stuff like that.
Personally, I don't think I'll consider this show a success until we have our first episode that hits 100,000 views.
Well, this could be it.
This could be the one. Send it to all your friends. Tell them how awesome this show is.
Put this show on repeat and watch it 55 times in the next week. That's what I do.
We do have a good show today for our 1-year anniversary, and we got a nice crew of people here to talk about everything. We have Grumpy McGrump, a.k.a. Marcus Beer, to my left.
What's up, Slumdogs?
Patrick Morales is in here today.
Yo, what's up, everyone?
And you guys already know grumpy-ass Ryan Stevens is on the
The new Grumpy.
I'm the new Grumpy. Actually Grumpy, not angry.
And he's so sunburned. Look at him.
Yeah, I'm like a lobster.
Yeah,
Kids don't exercise ever. Yeah. Stick.
That's probably why he's mad. He's burnt.
You're right. He's all pissed off because he's
I hate
fried
the
to
sun.
a
I'm gonna
crisp.
blow up the sun.
Yeah, you and I, man, we're about as white as they get. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
We got Brooks. Brooks actually does have a little bit of color in his face.
I was in Texas. I
Texas.
laid out by the pool.
What were you doing in Texas?
I was there for the WWE event.
How was that?
You know what's funny, though? Justin said I only need to be there Friday, so I left before the main event.
Before the actual WrestleMania?
Yeah, how stupid is that? But no, I had a lot of fun at the Superstar Challenge.
Did you want to stick around for the WrestleMania?
You know, I'm such not a diehard fan that it just didn't faze me. I couldn't really care.
Yeah, exactly. So you shouldn't be complaining, right?
Well, I just feel bad for going all the way out there, and I didn't stay for the main event.
Were you saying THQ was giving you grief because they're like, why are you leaving?
No, somebody from THQ was on my flight home, and she rode with me in the car.
And where would you rather spend a Friday night, Texas or Los Angeles?
I was in Texas for Friday night, drinking. But I'd rather be in Los Angeles.
What else are you going to do in Texas? Eat some barbecue?
Barbecue.
Rope a steer.
And I got Sergeant Slaughter to give a shout out to Invisible Walls.
They hate us.
Oh, and Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream. He called me stupid, I think, during the interview.
Really?
Yeah, because I didn't know exactly who he was. And
You didn't know who Dusty Rhodes was?
No, see, they'd walk him out of this.
I'm
walk
seeing
him.
all the comments for the next for this show are going to be,
Dude, are you
why don't
dying,
you send...
Johnny Chang?
So the comments for the next show are all going to be, why don't you send people to wrestling events who know about wrestling, because the WWE fanboys are going to be all over this and hating us.
Yeah, we're
Well,
going
we
to have
don't
to
give a
admit
fuck.
this,
Do we
aren't
really think there was a huge contingency of those people watching Invisible Walls?
When's the next Rumble Roses?
Now that's a wrestling game I can get behind.
The mud was so realistic on the women.
On the
No.
women, not really.
No.
Maybe we should get on with the show, right?
That might be
Yeah.
a good idea.
Invisible Walls 52, up and off.
Here he comes. Boss man slain. Boss man slain. From Kenny Kevin. The big boss man did it.
All right, next we have the man with the ones and zeros here, Brent Phillips. You guys probably heard him on the show prior. He talked about building the site and sort of the history of game trailers. But today, he is here to quell your fears about the loss of GTD and the new GT auction system. Brent, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Shane. So
what's up, man? Everybody wants to kill you. I probably shouldn't have said your name.
I think they know my name by now.
What's his
The
email
good news is
address?
there's 8 million Brent Phillipses probably in the world.
There's at least a couple hundred. You know, give me some buffer zone for the murders.
So what's the story? First of all, tell us why it was done, and then we'll talk about how it works.
You know, the biggest reason that we changed GTD was just that the economy around the marketplace there had just gotten such that people were just waiting for things to get posted on Mondays, and then the people that had money to buy things would just click as fast as they could, and stuff was sold out immediately. So there was never anything in the marketplace, and it was very difficult to get anything, even if you had the money to get it. And you also run into problems where, properly setting a price point for a little micro economy like this is fairly
Difficult.
involved. And, we don't have time to reevaluate the economy every week when we post this stuff. So we had just picked price points that we felt were right and went with it.
Yeah. Now, did you ever work out the exact the U.S. penny to the GTD, what that conversion was?
We
used
had
the
a
euro,
had a
didn't
rough
we?
conversion. It was about 100 GTD a cent or so.
Okay.
It never translated perfectly because we wanted some things to be easier to get and
Right.
things that we didn't care about didn't necessarily, if we had 50 mouse pads, we'd put those pretty low just because we want to get rid of them, not because...
Not that
think
we
they're
want to
worth
get rid of them. We want to give the kids
Well,
something.
we every time we have a chance to give something to everyone, we want to do it as much as we can. We get so excited about actually handing stuff out instead of the couple games a week. And so the point was there was a lot of problems around the system. We saw this as a really good opportunity to reevaluate how all that works and learn from our mistakes. One of the other big things about the GTD system was that a lot of the GTD was held by people that were just refreshing movies and leaving the continuous play on overnight and stuff like that. So one of the other things was GTD was, there was a very big dichotomy between people that had a lot of GTD and people that didn't have very much, that were just doing regular usage. So we wanted to put kind of power back in the hands of people that just use the site, not casually, but very often, and were the fans and weren't necessarily super hardcore about it. Mm-hmm. And so the GTP system has very low daily and weekly caps for earning GTP. So with relatively little effort on your part, you can earn the max GTP you can earn in a day, every day in, say, 10, 15 minutes. And so that way, lots of people have the ability to purchase these things through the auction. And so it's more about saving up your money and deciding when you're going to bet all your money on an auction instead of just never being able to get there without...
Right, or making sure you're there at Monday at 9 a.m. and you start clicking
Right.
refresh over and over, hoping that you get in.
Yeah, if you have 1,000 GTP you're willing to auction on something, you can bid that anytime during the week. And just the auction system puts the power back in the user's hands for setting price points, is that if nobody wants an item, nobody's going to bid on it.
Right.
So it's not really us deciding an arbitrary value for it, it's you guys doing it. And I think that works out pretty well. Surprisingly, usually we get a lot of negative feedback about pretty much anything we do. But, the auction house actually got a lot of positive feedback. There's still a little bit of growing pains, and we're kind of trying to tweak some things. We're paying a lot more attention to the community, and we want to make sure that this doesn't get out of hand, kind of like GTD did. And so, just know if there are any pain points remaining, we know about them and we're working on them.
Now, very quickly, explain to them how the auction system works.
Well, so, basically the auction system is eBay. You have your GTP and you say, I'm willing to bid, 1,000 GTP, which took me, a couple weeks to make up. And then if someone else, you say the current bid was, say, 300, then you'll only bid 301 or whatever you need to do to beat them. Just like eBay, you just set your max and it'll automatically upgrade your bid until you hit your max. And so, we picked this specifically because everyone was already used to doing it from eBay, et cetera.
Right.
Really kind of the complicated part is earning the GTP, which is more about, doing one of several actions that will each give you one GTP. So watch a movie, comment on a movie, rate a movie, rate someone's comments, the thumb rating system, uploading user movies, all these different things. And if you do all of them, you get bonuses for doing all of them, almost double the money. So there's a big incentive to use all of the site.
Which could be good or bad, depending on someone's taste, right?
Well, I mean, we're not asking you to do a whole bunch. We're just asking you to make one comment or, upload one movie a week.
Now, when somebody bids money on an auction, do they lose that money?
No. We actually thought about that during the beginning stages, and it's still kind of an idea we're throwing around, mainly because it would just remove a lot more GTP from the economy, but we think that would result in massive overflow of forum complaints and everything, just because people would, spend a whole bunch of weeks earning this money and then lose it for, one guy bid one more GTP, and there's nothing you can do about it. If this was actual money, if you really, really, really wanted something, you could dip into savings or something and spend a little bit more. But if you just don't have the GTP, it's not there. You can't do anything about it.
Right.
I think we're going to avoid that just because it would cause a lot of problems.
But aren't you going to run into the exact same problem as there's only a set amount of auctions every week, and eventually people are just going to earn more and more GTP, and then the long-time users are going to have mountains of points and the new guys won't?
Right. One of the big initiatives of the auction house release, and that it's still in development, is we're going to be doing a lot more of the virtual items and Get It Now items. So Get It Now is basically the old marketplace idea.
Right.
And we'll still use that whenever we have 50 mouse pads or 10 T-shirts or something that's not worth auctioning off one at a time every day.
Right.
Something like that would take a year. And then the virtual items are things like, things that users have always asked for and never really had an option to do is stuff like, preferred treatment in the compression lines or something like that so that they can skip everyone else in the compression system. We're going to try to do
So
more
the user
things like
movies
that.
go up more quickly than everyone else.
Right. You would automatically get the next available slot in the compression system, and then you wouldn't have to wait as long. And I think there's definitely some demand for that, and we're going to be focusing on more things you can spend that money on. And our marketing team's been working with publishers and stuff to get more, concept art, wallpapers, and not
Data codes.
Yeah, not 300 by 400 concept art, like the really big stuff, so that you can use this to make a kick-ass wallpaper or whatever you want to do. That was surprisingly hard to find, but all these guys have it. So we're trying to get all that and give it out for nominal amounts. 5 GTP would do it in 5 minutes. So.
Any last words for the people out there who were pissed off about GTD going away? Maybe someone had a mountain of GTD, they were waiting for that PS3, and they want to wring your neck.
Hey, you should have done a raffle.
About the Moneybags badge?
Yeah, Moneybags badge. You had the raffle, or you could have converted it at an extremely terrible conversion.
Let's talk quickly about badges, because I think that's something that's real cool. Are people going to be able to buy badges, or how does that work?
Well, the badge system is kind of like the Xbox 360 achievements or the PS3 trophies, in that we'll award them for pretty much anything. A lot of this stuff are obvious, like watch 10 movies, watch 100 movies, watch 500. But there's basically 3 classes of badges. There's the scaling badges, which are like that, which are the obvious ones that you can all think of: upload movies, watch movies, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. There's also unique events, so something like win an auction, or the first time you send a message to someone, or just all the unique things you can do on game trailers, or the first time that you have a top-rated user movie. Those will be badges for the actual achievements, I guess, basically. And then the third is just oddball stuff, like watch all the motorcycle videos on the site in one day, something like that. We'll give you a crazy badge, and we won't necessarily tell you how you got it.
Right.
And so all these people will be like, I just got this weird motorcycle badge, and I don't know where it came from.
Yeah.
And so you're trying to add a little bit more fun into the system than just an obvious
element of
hey, I watched
surprise
this
a little
minute.
bit, too.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Thanks for coming on the show and clearing things up for us. We really appreciate it. And maybe
Sure.
next time we'll have you on here just to talk about games.
Alrighty.
All right, so the DSi launched this weekend. I actually went out and got one yesterday.
Congrats. What color did you get?
Black,
Like your heart.
like my soul. Ryan, you went to the launch extravaganza
Yep. And they
out
had
at
some-
City Walk here in Los Angeles.
Me,
Got
me
to-
and Johnny braved the horror that is City Walk. It is like the New Jersey of malls. It's just not a fun place to go.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's always been like that, for the last 10 years.
It's a tourist hole.
Yeah, it's horrible. You see people walking around with camcorders, like shooting, like, that's the Hard Rock Cafe. I don't believe we ever saw the cafe back at the farm.
I've seen that on the TV.
Actually, no, there was one cool thing. There was that
The tube.
there was the free falling
What?
skydiving in a tube. They just had this air.
Oh,
pushing
yeah.
you up,
Oh,
so
that's
That
cool.
looked kind of cool.
I've seen that on the TV.
Pretty much. I was gonna whip out my camcorder.
Bobby
Shot
Joe,
that.
come look at this boy. He's flying.
Shucks.
But they had a full-featured midnight launch.
Full featured.
They had,
Is that anything like a full-figured woman?
What was the name of the band, Johnny? They had the Gym Class Heroes as a surprise guest, and I
What
guess
kind of
they're
music do they make?
I think that the kids like them. They make the rock and the roll.
Do they make the pop punk that's so popular with the young ones these days?
I blinked 182 times when I was watching it. And I started pogoing like a maniac. And
In other
they
words,
told me to
they
stop,
sucked.
moshing.
Is that safe to say?
Did you tell them that they were crap and they were to get off your lawn?
I wish I had a lawn.
Yeah, that'd be
But
nice.
no, the only really funny thing was they had these giant signs. There's like, Nintendo will not be picto chatting with anyone. So if you have your DSi out, if your DS out and you get random picto chats, and it's from Nintendo. It's not actually from Nintendo, so watch out for pedophiles.
Watch
Which I
out
thought
for
they were
middlemans.
really covering their butts. But
And they were covering the kids' butts too.
secret genius.
Oh, keep an eye out for Catholic priests.
Were there any celebrities there?
Kevin
the-
Pereira.
No, I heard the Wizard himself was there, wasn't he?
I did not see Fred Savage, but he may have been there.
Oh, he's not the Wizard, the other guy.
What?
You said Fred Savage. He's
Don Herbert's dead.
the little kid that played the Wizard.
Oh, the autistic kid?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Does he actually count as a celebrity because he's been in one friggin' movie?
Yeah, I guess not. He's just a
I wonder if the whole
kid.
time he was going there, if he was like, California. But, I mean, it's the DSi. They've been out in Japan for a long time. I'm definitely over it. Can't play my cool Game Boy Advance games, and
How often do you really use that feature?
I play some Game Boy Advance games once in a while. I actually
I
play...
think since I got my import of the DS Lite, I think I've used that slot twice.
Well, now that Rhythm Heaven is out for the DS, I mean, Rhythm Tengoku is like a game I imported. I played that quite a bit on my GBI, or on my DS, but yeah, not so much. I would say, after, playing around with the DSi for a while, if you were a younger kid and you really liked games and you couldn't really afford to get an iPod as well, it does play music. You can take photos and mess around. So maybe if you were like, 9 or 10, this could be your all-in-one, iPod for babies sort of thing. But it's cool that the screen's a little bit bigger. DSi wears still kind of up in the air for me. I know Bloodworth's really angry that it seems like they're basically selling demos now, which seems pretty accurate.
Personally, I mean, I filled around with it all day yesterday. I thought it was pretty awesome, man. Like, I think it's a healthy upgrade over the DS Lite. I mean, the screens are a good bit bigger. I think the audio is way better as far as the quality of the speakers in the top latch. I think the audio sounds better. I think just being able to have the opportunity to go and download demos is cool. I think a lot of them may end up being free ultimately, so you don't have to go into like a GameStop or whatever to download demos. I thought it was cool, man. I don't regret buying it at all.
Does it come with an SD card or no?
No.
Or
But I just popped the SD card out of my Wii right into it, and boom, I have 2 gigs of storage space. So
Aren't the cameras pretty crap though? There's two cameras and they're both 0.3 pixels, megapixels.
yeah, the
isn't that
cameras
right?
are crap. Like I have no idea why they made those cameras so off. I think I read in an interview somewhere where they worked on the resolution for months trying to figure out what the ideal. Well, they failed. Like, I don't know how long they worked on it, but they screwed up. But based upon having it for a day, I had a pretty good experience with it. I thought it was cool. I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, if you already have a DS Lite, maybe if you have a DS Fat, it's a good upgrade
yeah.
path.
If
But
you've
a
been
DS,
waiting
from
all
a
this
DS
time-
Lite, I think you can probably, it's $30 more. I think you could definitely hold off.
yeah, until
Unless
they
a
release
really
a killer
cool
app.
DSi. If they release Virtual Console for DSi, and the games are like $200 or $300 or what, $2 or $3, then you may have me.
And why wouldn't
interested.
they? I mean, all those games can
I-
easily run on that system.
Yeah, they should, but I don't know, licensing, who knows? But if you figure if they can do it for the Wii, they should be able to do it for the DS.
So what did Cammy have to say? Did you have a chat with
I
Cammy
could
Dunaway?
barely hear her over the thumping techno music that was being remixed on the DSi's, but she gave a lot of the company lines. Nothing incredibly.
Do your Cammy impersonation.
Hi, I'm Cammy.
There you go.
If I was to do the Queen of England, it would sound exactly the same.
But with that British accent.
So you didn't get to ask her if Reggie wipes his ass with $100 bills?
No,
Damn.
That's
I think that's euros anyway. That's how they roll.
So it sounds like the launch event was pretty lame, unless you were
I mean, if
12
you're
or 13.
really, if you're really into it, it's like radio DJs. I'm like, oh my god, they have faces. I don't know. it's not my scene, and City Walk. Ugh.
City Walk's a nightmare.
It is. And so I guess the general consensus being Ryan and I, would be that if you have the old clunky original DS, definitely upgrade. If you have a DS Lite, don't upgrade. If you're going to buy a DS for the first time, I say get the DSi. What do you say?
Unless you have an extensive GBA back library.
And you
wanna be
really
able to-
think you're going to play them, because I have an extensive back library, and I
Well,
literally
there are
don't
those
play
people
this
that are
game.
like, trying to always, 200% the old Castlevanias and stuff like that on
Yeah.
And if you're over the age of 12, just get an iPhone.
Science would have us believe that we have nearly lost our animal instincts.
All right, next we're going to talk about X-Men Origins Wolverine. Now, the big story about this property, so to speak, is that the movie was leaked. Was it last week?
I'd say maybe
last
2
week.
weeks
Yeah.
ago.
And they're saying it's done 1 million views, and I'm sure the movie studio's multiplying that by 11 and just assuming that every single one of those people that have downloaded the movie would have gone to see it in the theater, and it's cost them all that money.
Oh no.
Which it probably has cost them a lot of money.
I don't
No
think it's
doubt
cost them a
about
lot of money. I mean, they've put out a story that, obviously it was a work print. I mean, I haven't seen it. I'm actually looking forward to seeing Wolverine. But it was a work print. There was green screen in there. There was wires in there. And this was a work print from about 8 months ago. And over Christmas, Fox actually pumped a whole load of money into doing like 3 weeks of reshoots to actually improve the movie. And
Something
the buzz...
like 10 or 15 minutes worth of pickups.
Yeah,
Wow.
and what I'm hearing about the reshoots is it actually makes the movie a lot better and a lot more, a lot more fun.
Well,
But
who wants to watch the movie with no CG and a bunch of people in front of a freaking green screen?
Dick
Well,
Watts, Dick Watts, who could say, "I've already seen it, and it was crap."
Elite snobs.
Freaking Xbox, all of them.
Tools. I hate people like that.
Smegpots, that's the word of the day.
So now we have the game. And I guess what we've seen so far with Wolverine in video games is they've always pasteurized him. They've always made him tea-friendly. They've never really shown Wolverine in a video game or let you be Wolverine
They
the way he
muted
really
him.
is.
They spayed him.
They nerfed him.
You answer trivia questions with him.
Yeah. But now.
I'd just like to say,
No,
I saw this
long
game
last.
3 months ago with the green screen and the whiteness and everything. It was awful.
Well, Patrick saw the full thing.
Yes.
And he is here to report on an extremely violent and what could be extremely
yeah.
controversial, ultimately, video.
Extremely.
Yes.
Definitely. I just have to say, after a bunch of disappointing licensed movie games like Transformers, Hulk, Iron Man, of course,
Catwoman.
it is incredibly refreshing to
Go
see.
on for weeks.
It's incredibly refreshing to see a game that's actually halfway
Fantastic
decent.
Four.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, basically everything, really.
Shrek.
Being a superhero
Focus.
in the past, few years. But Raven Software, these guys know what they're doing. They've done all the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games, which have been pretty good. This is their first chance at doing a full-on action game rather than action RPG. And for the most part, it's really awesome. I mean, it's obvious to see where the inspirations draw from. It's very God of War, but then again, they couldn't have picked the worst.
Yeah, a better thing to
Yeah.
emulate, right?
I mean, you can't get
perfect
any-
for him.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good template for him, and it really makes a lot of sense with just what they've done design-wise to the game. I've played a good hour of it, and I have to say it's really impressive. I won't really call it just a movie game because that would discredit it. It's actually more than that. These guys definitely put a lot of work into it, a lot of thought, and I think that it really shows with just how well the game plays.
But most importantly, the big secret is that it's violent as hell.
Oh yeah, it's incredibly violent.
And the trailers they've given us, they've all been very...
They've done
They've been
yeah.
tiptoeing.
Yeah,
Oh,
they,
yeah.
They've kind of used a bunch of crafty edits to get around the violence, but really, if you claw someone, they're gonna get cut in half.
You can put someone's head into propeller blades.
Yeah,
Oh, I like it.
and that's within the first few minutes of the game.
So how does the lunge mechanic work? So, I mean, I saw the trailer they released, was it last week, with the lunge, and that looks pure Wolverine.
That is definitely my favorite part of the game, actually. How it works is you hold R1, or I guess RB for the 360, and then it'll show a waypoint to an enemy that you're targeting. Then you can kind of shift between them with the right analog stick. And as soon as you hone in on someone, it shows a little parabola, the distance that you'll travel with the lunge. Then you hit L1 or LB, and then Wolverine will just jump towards them. And it's like a ranged grab, essentially. You just jump from one place to the other. And what's cool about that is that it's also based on height. So if you're in higher terrain, you can jump further at someone. Likewise, if there's a bridge that's down, you can lunge across a series of enemies and then get across that way. It's definitely cool, and it's a cool feature that I enjoy playing with.
Do you think you'll be able to spam it and just walk through the whole game?
I actually was spamming it a fair bit, which
Yeah.
is a little concerning.
That's my
Are you
fear.
in the first level though?
That was in the first level, but truth be told, when I was fighting a boss, I could not spam it.
Yeah.
They're pretty smart about it. If you try to lunge at them from the front side, they'll grab you midair and they'll punish you. So
So
it's
how
not
did
fail safe?
one of the
Now,
other
is the movie rated R?
no, the movie's. I think the movie's going to be PG-13.
Really?
Yeah, that's where the big disconnect is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where they may run into hot water because parents are going to be like, well, I took my kid to this movie and that was okay, and I bought him a game, and oh my God.
And this is where the parents can line up to suck my because it's going to have a rating on it saying that it's not for prepubescent little breeders.
Hey, parents, here's a message for you. If there's an M on the front of the game, do not buy it for your kids.
Yeah.
It's not for Marvel.
You'll get the ESRB off of our ass. You'll get the ESRB off of publishers' asses. Just do your job as a parent. I'm sick of doing your job for you.
bitches. So back to the game.
Also, stop
One of the
being
other things that I saw in the dev videos that have been released is they talk about Wolverine's healing factor.
Yes.
Now, obviously, they've got to balance that so that you don't end up literally healing throughout the, regenerating throughout the game, and you get a waltz through the game on the first try. Do they talk about how they handle that?
Yeah, it's pretty much akin to what you'd see in, say, Halo, where they have a rebounding health meter. Wolverine will show visibly on his body the kind of wear and tear. If you get shot up with some bullets, you'll see it, pierce through his body. And a cool little detail they do actually with that is as you heal over time, you see the bullets like pop out of his.
No way.
That's cool.
That's
Awesome.
sweet.
So lots of little cool visual details like that. But yeah, it's basically like a rebounding health meter. Wolverine is definitely not immortal. Like in the comics, you will get hurt. But at the same time, it's not a scramble for survival where, you have to take cover until you heal.
But is he
It's
immortal in
pretty
the
gradual.
comics? I mean, I'm not the biggest
he-
comic book
he
guy, but if you
aged-
chop the leg off and took it to Uganda, he's
Well, no,
he's not going to survive.
No, he regrows the leg.
Really? He'll regenerate a
Yeah,
leg?
but you can't actually chop his leg off because his bones are laced with adamantium, which means they're pretty much indestructible. There's a whole bunch of stuff. There's from Wolverine Origins to Wolverine the End, where it's not necessarily that he, is immortal, but he ages. He regenerates a lot, but he does age. He outlasts everybody by about 300-400 years.
Wow. That'd be pretty miserable.
And in the books, in the
Bye,
book,
guys.
PlayStation 7's coming
Nice
out.
knowing ya.
well, in the Origins books, he actually, it starts off with him being born, and it's sort of like, late 1800s, middle America. His parents owned a big, plot of land and
Red
had a big
state.
house, and yeah, very, very much actually, yeah, Southern family type thing. So I'd actually recommend everybody should read the Wolverine Origins and Endings books. They're really good.
Okay. The game so far, though, sound like you're pretty hyped on it.
I have to say it's really fun to play. Looking at something coming up like God of War 3, it's of course won't match up to that level of
Right.
quality. But I think that for what it is and what it tries to do, it does a pretty darn good job at it.
Did you get to do any of the QuickTime events that aren't actually QuickTime events?
Yeah, actually.
Because those look pretty cool.
Yeah, I think they mentioned at some point in time that they decided to just nix the QuickTime events completely.
Now they're kind of like mini games.
Kind of. They're more like interactive cinemas where, that you brought up the example with the helicopter. You'll jump on there, and it doesn't really tell you that it's interactive. It's kind of intuitive, like, oh, I'm sliding away. Maybe I should hit up to keep on the helicopter. So little things like that. And it's kind of cool. That's the only one I experienced, but I think it worked pretty well.
Cool. So far, I think an auspicious debut for the game.
I'd have to say so, yeah, for sure.
All right.
They're a body made up of unqualified nincompoops who've been shoehorned in to fight government regulation. Unfortunately, they're taking the nanny state to the nth degree. They make the FCC look like a bunch of broad-minded, non-censorship individuals, and I'm just sick to the back teeth of them.
All right. Now we're going to go dig through the annals of time
The anals.
You hear what you want to hear.
to dig up our most favoritist moments from Invisible Wall's history. Marcus, I'm going to start with you. You weren't here at the very beginning,
No,
but you become a valuable member of the team.
yeah, that was your mistake. Well, I've been on, I think I missed like the first 3 episodes, and then I was on, every other week. But
Yep.
my favorite standout event was when you and I unloaded both barrels on the ESRB with regards to the Fallout 3 footage that was had to be pulled in all the trailers and everything, and how we were sick of the nanny state. And that was the first time I actually saw Invisible Walls go bananas with coverage, because Kotaku, Game Politics, a bunch of other sites actually picked up on the story. And I think that was probably one of our top rated and top viewed episodes. And I don't think we've had a major rant like that since then. So ESRB, you do to up. Please come back for more.
Hey, my barrels are still loaded, bro.
I know, I'm sitting next to you, I can smell them from here.
I'll bring my BB gun.
Patrick, what's your favorite moment from the past year of episodes?
Well, on a lighter note, I have to. I really have to give it to the whoever made the Justin remix. I thought that was pretty hilarious.
The Justin intro montage?
That was actually Ryan's idea. We have to give
Blake
props to Ryan.
executed that. Actually, it was whosever idea it was the person who said it during the episode.
I think that was me, actually. I
So
was like,
props
let's
to
do a
Shane.
montage. Yeah.
Surprise,
Everybody
surprise.
say, awesome me.
But Ryan was the one who went through 336
Right.
episodes.
He did all the work.
That's true.
I'm also secretly infatuated with Justin.
Aren't we all?
Or not so secret.
That's why you share an office.
And how could you not after listening to this? So that would be awesome if we went back and just listened to all your little intros and just edited them together in one big montage.
That'd be great. Let's do it. Let's do that.
Yo.
Hi, Doing well. Hey, what's up? I'm doing great on this fine day. If I had to, I would. I'm raising taxes. Again. Engineering. Hey. Hey.
Yep. It'll be vanquished. I'm sure I'm going to take care of it.
Yep. We sure do.
Ryan, what is your most memorable moment?
Well, we had this guy that worked here named Kelly, and now he lives in Austin, Texas, and I miss him. But
Kelly is one of the forebears of GT. He was one of our original guys here when we were on.
And actually a bear. But, sorry. But we had Jamie and Kelly on, and they were like the community kind of managers for our site, and they read us, instead of fan mail, we read some band mail. And it still brings a tear to the eye.
We should try to bring that back. We still have Jamie here. We should try to get him on the show and do some band. I think a lot of the viewers really like that too, so maybe we should bring it back soon.
And on the lighter side of things, I will say in the very first episode of Invisible Walls, I said how the dishwasher looked totally awesome and I couldn't wait to buy it. And now it's been out for like 2 weeks and I still haven't purchased it.
Yeah,
for sure.
So
you're not gonna, are you?
I'm a huge hypocrite. No, I've just been busy. I've been busy riding my bike.
Too busy getting sunburned.
I should have played the dishwasher.
Too busy to spend 30 seconds selecting a download.
Pretty much.
You little stab wound. Thank you.
Yeah, so I got another one here. This is from some guy that I was talking to back and forth after banning him, and he did say some funny stuff to me. I was like, I almost let him off the hook, but this was one of the last messages he sent. It was, I love you. Don't be so mean. Unban me, and your soul will be redeemed in heaven. Lol, just kidding. Quit being a jerk and let me continue my trolling of game trailers. And so I unbanned him because, what could I do at that point? He was
so convincing.
Yeah. Your soul was in jeopardy on that.
Brooks, what about you?
I'm going to bring us back to episode 13.
Unlucky.
Yes. But it was a funny episode because that's when we had Jason Zumwalt in, who, of course, is the voice of Roman from GTA 4. And we've had a lot of guest stars in the past, but he stands out because...
We use that word stars very loosely.
Yes.
No disrespect to Mr. Zumwalt.
And he was funny because he just talked about the ins and outs of working for GTA 4 and being the voice. And I think what stood out most to me is when he got the script and he was reading through the lines, he knew he was there for something, but he didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And later on when he was reading about like beating up hookers and whatnot, that's when it dawned on him that it was GTA 4 when he was seeing like some of the characters that were going to be in there. So
Yeah, he was in an interesting interview. Definitely, you don't get a chance to go inside Rockstar very often.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's like, yeah, we want you to come down to a rap party. We're launching a website, and I was like, I don't really do that. So it's kind of weird. But I've got a couple of MySpace friends out of it. So.
And for my favorite moment, I'm sure probably everyone's guessed this by now. And only because of the totally failed attempt to get people to write a theme song for us, which I pleaded for weeks. We never really got anything worth listening to. No disrespect to those of you who sent in your entries. But my favorite moment was definitely the logo contest. Some of the humor and the creativity and the logos that were sent to us is awesome. I still have an affinity for volcanoes. It affected me so much that I went on a trip to Italy, and I'm thinking about the whole logo contest so much.
Not just a trip, a honeymoon.
A honeymoon. And I'm on my honeymoon in Italy, and I'm thinking about all the logos, and I created a postcard in paint that I sent back to the crew. Granted, it took me about 4 seconds to make it.
But it's a thought that counts.
But I just thought all the logos, it's great to have the input from all our users and all the viewers. I think it was really the first time when we kicked off the show, I really felt like the show was becoming what it was supposed to be, which was this way for all the users of Game Trailers to get to know us and to sort of humanize the site a little bit, because before that we were kind of very database driven. So it was we are Cyborg. But it was funny, it was fun, it really engaged us with all you guys out there. So that is undoubtedly my favorite moment from the first year of Invisible Walls.
And just to let you know, we had another entry in the logo competition 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'll have to send it to you.
Yeah, we may actually dig up a few of the latecomers, and I don't really like saying that. I have to dig up a few of the late entries and put them together and show them to you guys in a future episode. All right, next up is the return of one of everyone's favorite segments, On the Hook, where we answer your questions.
Oh, so we have a question for you, Shane.
Oh, that's amazing. That's great.
So the number one question that's being asked on our threads right now is, where did it come from? Who picked it, and what's it called?
Well, I think a lot of people like it, but there's also a lot of people that hated it the first time it was in the show. People are like, I hate that theme song. Basically what happened is we sign up for music services, and we use those songs for background music in our videos when we can't get music from the game. So when you sign up for these services, you can use the music for certain periods of time and in certain kinds of videos, but eventually if you move on to a new service, you have to stop using those songs in new videos. So the theme song for Invisible Walls was a part of our old music service. Once we switched services, we could not use it anymore. So I went into our new music service, basically dug around for a couple songs, found like 5 or 6 that I liked. That's the one that I chose. I chose it because it sounds like Joy Division. I'm a big Joy Division fan. You cannot get the song. We cannot make the song available for download. It's not legal. It's not a song you can buy in a store, which really sucks. I'm sorry to say that. But if you like that kind of music, you might want to check out Joy Division or New Order because that's what they sound like.
That's kind of a boring answer. We should have lied and said it was some band.
It's our band.
And they should go download the MP3.
It was Johnny Cheng on his DSi.
Yeah, unfortunately, we cannot give you the song, guys, so you just have to tune into Invisible Walls every week to hear it.
Oh, but if you can bootleg it off your computer by holding up a boombox to the computer,
it's like,
that'd be pretty sweet.
It's one bar of the song. I guess you could record that one bar, just loop it over and over, and then write your own lyrics.
And just to piss you off, we're actually going to we're going to listen to the whole song, so we have it here, and we're just going to listen to it and think of you.
All right, for our next question, we are bringing back Brent Phillips because this is his area of expertise. So, Brent, why don't you take the next question?
Okay, so we have a question from Robbie C. He says, I've been watching Invisible Walls podcast on my PSP since episode 7 and loving every minute of it. Now you guys at Game Trailers are pulling a G4 TV on me and have tweaked the video files so that they are not supported on the PSP anymore. Do podcasters just have an innate hate for the PSP? So this is kind of a multi-part question. First off, I would say that Game Trailers will at all times avoid pulling a G4 TV whenever we can. Also, the tweaked video files are a mistake, and we're going to fix that. We changed our compression workflow, and so we're using a different program, and we're going to go back and fix all that. But do podcasters have an innate hate for the PSP?
Yes.
No, but I'd sure like for some games to come out so I could play it again.
Yeah, that'd be great. All right, does anyone have a trank dart? I think someone needs to, like, put me under. Really got me torqued up, man.
Do you want a back rub?
Or a Valium, maybe.
Strong
You can go
alcoholic
listen
beverage.
to some Joy Division on vinyl.
We got the date rape drug.
Ryan?
Later that night.
Anyway, that's going to do it for this week's show. Again, episode 52. It's been a year. We thank you guys so much. The big news is that Game Trailers TV has switched to a new time on Spike TV. The premieres are actually now on Thursday nights at 12:30, so midnight on Thursday night. You also get to see the re-air the following night on Friday if you want to check it out at the old time at 1 a.m. But just an FYI for you, be sure to check it out on Thursdays at its new time. Thanks for watching and listening, and we'll see you next time. Peace.